Hi! So this is going to be one of my first tutorials, and hopefully it goes okay. So we're making the star block today. I've got all my pieces pre-cut, but step one is starting with pieces 2B. These are the little guys that are part of your star. And if you want to, you can pick which way the pattern's going, and then make sure it's facing that way when you mark them. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing a line right here and here. Since they're rectangles, you want them to be in opposite directions. If I had both of these lines drawn this way across the shape, we would end up with two identical star points instead of two symmetrical star points so that they mirror each other. You want them mirroring. Then we're going to take, the next step is to take patterns piece, I believe C, which is the largest piece of your background, and we're going to put them wrong sides together. Sorry, that's right sides together. It's always right sides together, but here I am going backwards for a second. And we're going to line these up in adjacent corners, because what's happening is we're going to make two half stars on opposite sides, and then we're going to cut this down the middle and flip-flop them. But now that we have these really nicely lined up, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 1/4 inch line on your ruler, line it up with the line you drew, and cut. I'm on a wool mat, so I'm just going to have to... Okay. So now that we have this like this, we're still not ready yet because these are rectangles, not squares. So we need to flip-flop these. And I know we had settled on directions earlier, and no worries, this will still, in the final product, be facing the direction you want the pattern to face. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this, and now we're going to press it. And you know you did this right when you get mostly a straight line up here. It won't be a perfect straight line unless you're a very good quilter. I never get it quite right, but no worries, we trim it down later. So now we're going to take the next largest background piece that you have, and we're going to put it right here. And I don't have this in the directions of my pattern, but if you want, you can go ahead and take your ruler, hopefully a larger ruler, and we can trim that bit off that's in your way and makes this not a straight line. So we're going to take that off, and now we're going to sew up here. And don't forget to press. Okay, we are almost done. Next, we're going to take our two side pieces, which you can see, unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to the pattern directions when I cut it. And we're going to do the same thing we did at the very first step. We take these, we put our wrong sides up, we arrange them the way we like them. I don't really like them, but you know, we'll go with what I cut. And then we want these to mirror each other. We're going to draw a line from corner to corner. And my pen's running out of ink, but I can make it work. And then we take these, and notice how the part that has our star on it has the fatter part of our star on it. So, star, fat end, star, fat end. Not quite centered on camera, sorry about that. So you'll see, this is the point of my star, it's the top, and there's no orange fabric up here. This is the bottom of my star, it's the fatter end, and this is the fatter end. It has orange star fabric on this bottom half. So we're going to line this up as best as we can. And this is the scary part, but we're going to take the 1/4 inch line of our ruler, line it up with our drawing. That way we're cutting a 1/4 inch away from that point to point. And we're going to cut right there. All right, and we've done this to both sides. Now these are discard. I like to use them for half square triangles for other projects. Now we're going to take these, and just as before, we are switching them over. And I'm using my drawing line right here to line that part up with the edges of the block. Now you'll see my pieces don't line up perfectly, so I'm just going to try and center them. But you can also pick to try and just line them up with the bottom or top, or you can square up this piece before you apply these pieces. And now I'm going to sew this and press. Now we're not out of the woods yet. We're taking our last 2 little background pieces, and just as before, we're going to draw mirrored lines on them. And we're going to set them. So that we see the wider part is going right up here into the corner of our star. See, you can even imagine the shape of the star. You can see that's how you know you've done it correctly. So we'll line them up on both sides. And it sure does look funny, like 2 star halves, but the last step is my favorite part. So we're going to go ahead and cut, sew, and press these. You remember to flip them. So now we're on to the last step, which is my favorite part. We're going to cut this in half and sew it back together again. So when you cut it in half, make sure you're not cutting through any stars. If you're cutting through your stars, you've gone the wrong way. You should only cut through background fabric. And now that we have it cut apart, we put them back together. And that's how you make one of my favorite blocks. He's ready for some squaring up and then being used in any project you can plan.